On March 8, 2014, 239 passengers boarded Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. The flight was routine, the weather was calm, and the destination was Beijing, the capital of China. Less than an hour after takeoff, the pilot spoke his final words to air traffic control. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Minutes later, the aircraft vanished from radar screens. No distress call was issued, and no trace of the plane was ever found. The giant Boeing 777 disappeared as if it had evaporated into thin air. Today, many years later, this mystery remains one of the greatest in the history of modern aviation. Where did the plane go? What happened that dark night? Welcome to this documentary where we will delve into the terrifying details and enigmatic scenarios surrounding the disappearance of Flight MH370. Let's go back to the beginning. The plane took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. The experienced pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah, was at the controls, along with his young co-pilot, Fariq Abdul Hamid. Everything was going according to plan. The plane reached an altitude of 35,000 feet, the designated altitude for the flight. At 1:19 a.m., the aircraft was approaching the exit from Malaysian airspace and entering Vietnamese airspace. It was then that the famous final exchange took place. "Good night, Malaysian 370. This was a routine procedure for transferring control to Vietnam. But what happened just 2 minutes later shocked the world. At 1:21 a.m., the aircraft's transponder, was manually switched off. This device is what makes the aircraft visible to civilian air traffic control radars and provides altitude and speed data. In technical terms, the plane became a ghost. It disappeared from both Vietnamese and Malaysian civilian radar simultaneously. Silence fell, and confusion gripped air traffic control. Where did the plane go? While civilian observers searched for the plane in the South China Sea, where it was presumed to be, other radars were detecting something shocking: Malaysian and Thai military radars. Military data later revealed that the plane hadn't disappeared or crashed immediately. Instead, it made a sharp, sudden left turn and headed back towards the Malaysian peninsula. This turn wasn't random. It was executed with remarkable precision, indicating that whoever was piloting the aircraft knew exactly what they were doing. The plane flew over the border between Malaysia and Thailand, cleverly avoiding areas that might raise suspicion from air defenses. It then headed toward the Strait of Malacca, passing Penang Island, before turning northwest towards the Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean. The question experts are asking is, why didn't the Malaysian Air Force intercept the plane when it saw it returning over their territory? The answer is shocking. Military radars mistook it for a friendly aircraft and ignored it. This critical error marked the beginning of the disappearance of the aircraft. At 2:22 a.m., the plane disappeared even from military radar. The case entered a complete dark tunnel. Everyone thought the story was over, but a British company called Inmarsat held the key to the next mystery. This company owned communication satellites. Although the plane's data systems were switched off, a small automated system remained operational. This system sent a handshake signal, or ping, to the satellite every hour to confirm that the plane was still in contact. These signals continued to arrive for 7 hours after the plane disappeared from radar. Scientists analyzed these signals with meticulous precision and discovered an astonishing fact. The plane continued flying until 8:19 a.m. By measuring distance and time, experts concluded that the plane had taken a long southerly route, flying over the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most isolated and deepest places on Earth, until it ran out of fuel and crashed there. With no conclusive evidence, the door was wide open to theories. Here are the 3 most prominent scenarios proposed by investigators. Scenario 1, pilot suicide. Suspicion fell on the pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah. After searching his home, investigators found a home flight simulator. Surprisingly, weeks before the crash, Zahari had drawn a flight path on the simulator, ending in the southern Indian Ocean, almost the same route taken by the actual aircraft. The theory suggests he isolated his co-pilot, shut down the systems, and led everyone to their deaths. Scenario 2, electronic or external hijacking. This theory posits that someone with extensive flying experience, Either a passenger or an intruder broke into the cockpit, disabled the systems, and took control of the aircraft for some unknown purpose, perhaps to land it at a secret location. However, the plan failed and the plane crashed. Scenario 3, sudden oxygen deprivation. Another tragic scenario suggests a fire or a pressure leak inside the aircraft. This incident caused the pilots and their passengers to lose consciousness due to a lack of oxygen. The plane turned into a ghost plane and continued to fly on autopilot for several hours until it ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. The largest and most expensive search operation in aviation history was launched. It covered vast areas of the Indian Ocean and employed advanced submarines and deep-sea survey vessels. To this day, the main fuselage of the aircraft has not been found. All that has been found are a few small pieces of wreckage washed ashore on the beaches of Africa and Reunion Island, confirming only one fact: the plane did indeed crash into the ocean. The families of the victims are still living in a whirl of grief and uncertainty. How could an aircraft the size of a Boeing 777 disappear in the age of technology and satellites? Flight MH370 remains an open wound in the history of humanity, a stark reminder that, despite all our scientific advancements, we may still be helpless before the dark mysteries of the oceans. Thank you for watching this documentary. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to share your opinions in the comments. Which theory do you think is closest to reality? Until next time with another mystery.